Anybody in there? Hey guys, B Junior here coming to you live. Actually, it's not live, it's recorded from the man cave. I did a little video a while back entitled My Grindhouse Sickness, where I just kind of showed all my grindhouse videos. I don't know, I was kind of sitting around thinking up just some quickie ideas for little extra videos to show you here in the world of B Junior's movie cave. I got to thinking, I think I have finally gotten just about every James Bond movie in my collection finally, so they're not all on Blu-ray or nothing like that, nothing fancy or anything. I bought most of these for $3 some time ago over at Big Lots whenever they released them over there for $3 a piece. So, but I finally got a good set going, and I thought I'd just do a all-purpose James Bond sickness video. So follow me through this. I'm going to do this one handheld here, so bear with me. The lighting's not too great, but I'll do my best. Let's go through them here, guys. Dr. No, and I think I've got them pretty much in chronological order. I could be wrong, so don't beat me over the head too much if they're not fully in order, but I'll try to do them that way. Dr. No, I believe it's the first film they made. Of course, it's not the first Ian Fleming novel or anything. I've only read a couple of the novels. I'm pretty much a movie geek at heart, so I need to read more. Anyway, Dr. No, Ursula Andress there. These are, of course, the older MGM special editions, which I prefer to get. Mainly because they were cheap and they have tons of special features on them. From Russia with Love, one of my favorite Sean Connery's, little underrated Sean Connery James Bonder, because it's got a great nemesis. Robert Shaw is kind of like his Russian counterpart in this movie, and it kind of really harkens back to the Cold War of yesteryear. From Russia with Love, a good one. Probably one of the most crowd-friendly ones that everybody likes, of course, is the third film, Goldfinger. It's got your more comical villains in it, but it's still a great story, and the gadgets is really sells this one. You know, of course, his Aston Martin car and Odd Job throwing his hat around and stuff. And there's the gold chick at the first of the movie there. You know, Sean Connery at his best, he really kind of honed the skill and the role of his third time the charm there. And Goldfinger's just probably one of his best. Just moving down the line here, we got Thunderball. Of course, this is one that hails from the underwater scenes. It's got a lot of great underwater work. I did some research a while back that this one kind of went over budget or something, or they just run into a problem with some stuff like that. But it really made its money back because it was a great follow-up to Goldfinger, and I don't know, it's got great special features on this disc. I'd highly recommend watching that because it gives you a lot of insight on the special effects that they did in that movie. Another underrated Sean Connery outing was You Only Live Twice. A lot of people don't talk much about this one. I tend to like this one a little bit better than Thunderball. I know it's kind of heresy to some people, but I like it better than Thunderball and Dr. No. But I do like From Russia with Love and Goldfinger. They're up there, and this one's up there too. But the only thing that ever bothered me about You Only Live Twice was the so-called ninjas in this movie, and there's one right there. That looks like a real ninja. Of course, being a product of the 80s, you just say the word ninja, I'm going to go watch the movie. I don't care what it is. I always give it its due. But this has got the only instance where I've ever seen, they call them ninjas, but they're the best blue leotard gun-toting ninjas I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, You Only Live Twice. Of course, Sean Connery at that point went on hiatus for a film. You had On Her Majesty's Secret Service with George Lazenby in the lead role. A lot of people are going to say shame on me for saying this, but George Lazenby did a really great job as James Bond, but we'd already had 5 films prior, so he sadly didn't get to do any more, but he made a very good James Bond in my opinion. This is a highly underrated James Bond outing. It gets a bad rap because it didn't have Sean Connery in it and everybody was so used to him. But very good one, action-packed, and it sticks a little more closer to the novel, I think, because this is the one where James Bond, they actually show James Bond getting married to his counterpart, which you know, you see in later films that came after that, some of the Roger Moores and one of the Timothy Daltons, they mentioned that he was married once, and they kind of followed that up a little bit. This is the one that really actually shows his love for his wife and how she gets killed and everything. Anyway, Sean Connery's back in the funky early 70s, and Diamonds Are Forever. Not my favorite Sean Connery film. This one just suffers from comical villains and just, I've always thought this one had cheap or cheesy special effects. I just never really, not my favorite. I can watch it though to be a completist. Live and Let Die is next. It's the only one I have on Blu-ray. I'll show you it real quick. It's over here on the Blu-ray stack. Got this one for Christmas last year. Awesome transfer on this one, guys. Highly recommend it. I'm gonna upgrade to Blu-ray on the James Bond films, probably by attrition. If the discs die off, or if I find these dirt cheap later on, I'll probably pick them up. But I don't know. You just have to wait for a sale on those. Live and Let Die. First outing for Roger Moore. Not really a bad film. It's just gets a bad reputation because everybody was wanting Sean Connery, of course, and didn't want to change. But Sean Connery had had his day, and Roger Moore came in with a vengeance. I believe the next one up for Roger Moore was Man with a Golden Gun. One of my favorite Roger Moores. Even though it has some comical villains in it, it kind of works for the film. Christopher Lee is the ultimate assassin in this movie. I mean, heck, it's even got Tattoo from Fantasy Island. Boss, me playing. Anyway. Going through some more of them here. The Spy Who Loved Me. Not my favorite Roger Moore because it just kept getting more and more comical with the action and the villains and stuff. And it's got high action, some good special effects for its day. Not my favorite Roger Moore, but it's right up there. It's a good one. It's a good one to watch. Of course, we have in the late super funky 70s, everybody was doing Star Wars. And of course, why can't we do a Roger Moore James Bond takeoff on Star Wars? You know, had the shuttles in outer space, laser guns, the whole mess. Moonraker. Not a bad one, but not a good one either. It's one that I watched a lot growing up, but I've gotten to where I like some of the other ones better. But I don't know. It's just one of those in those late 70s kind of vibe. It's pretty decent, but it's not the best. Here's one that I really love, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people say it's boring, not enough good stuff going on in it. It's kind of the return to minimalism, and they kind of went back to basics and kept the gadgets to a minimum in this movie. I happen to like For Your Eyes Only. It's got a great theme song at the beginning. Roger Moore. It's kind of got a little bit darker tone to it, but I think that works because it was a return to, let's get a little more serious. Let's get just a basic good story. And go for the thrills and the action and everything. I believe the actor Topol's in this one as well. Just like I said, one of my favorites. Sadly, this DVD right here that I bought at Big Lots, it doesn't have all these special features that are on the back. It was a goof. It's actually this disc 1. It was some kind of error that they said that these For Your Eyes Only discs came with. It's the disc 1 from the 2-disc set that came later. They just repackaged them in these and sent it out. But that's the only one of these earlier MGMs that was goofed that I've found so far. The rest of them have all the special features. 1983, I believe the year, was Octopussy. That's right. I actually like this one. This is the one that reigned supreme on HBO for years. I mean, it's just like if you weren't watching Beastmaster, you were watching Octopussy with Roger Moore. Not a bad one. The gadgets are great in this one. I just like this one. It's just one of those from my childhood that I watched a lot. And I pull it out whenever I'm doing like a Roger Moore-a-thon. Roger Moore's last outing. A View to a Kill. Roger Moore was starting to show his age a little bit in this one. But I think what really saves View to a Kill for me is not only, it came on HBO a lot and I watched it a lot growing up. This is before we had a VCR too, and we had to just watch whatever was on the tube. And View to a Kill, I mean, it gets saved because the villains in the movie they're pretty good. I mean, I like Christopher Walken in this movie as the bad guy. Grace Jones, well, she's just wild. She's Grace Jones. What else can you say on that? But you can definitely tell Roger Moore had lots of stunt doubles in this movie. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say, not to disrespect the Moore. Anyway. First outing from Timothy Dalton. Of course, I bought this one used. It's a thin one from a box set, I believe it is, but it's a 2-disc special edition on The Living Daylights. Of the two that he has done, I like The Living Daylights the best. The only thing that kills The Living Daylights, in my opinion, is it's Miriam Diabo, I believe, is the older sister or younger sister of Olivia Diabo. I can't remember which one's older or younger. It doesn't really matter. But the leading lady in this movie is freaking annoying. James, James. She just says that horrendously throughout the whole movie, and I got it for $3. That's right. So, but anyway, I like Living Daylights a little bit better than License to Kill, but Timothy Dalton, in my opinion, made one good one. He made one not so good one. So I'll just say it that way. Of course, I just mentioned it, License to Kill. Timothy Dalton's most Silver Pictures-esque outing. This one had music from Michael Kamen, I believe, and Robert Davi, and a bunch of other people that showed up in the late 80s, early 90s Silver Pictures productions. It's I've always dubbed it that way. It's kind of like it is a James Bond movie made by Albert Broccoli and all them producers and everything, but it's the most Silver Pictures-esque in terms of tone and mood, and it's most like Lethal Weapon movies of the James Bond films. Moving along, you'll notice as I went through the 80s there, I didn't mention Never Say Never Again with Sean Connery. That was, of course, a remake basically of Thunderball that was produced by Warner Brothers, and I believe directed by Irwin Kershner, who directed Empire Strikes Back. I just don't have it yet. I will get it one day, maybe on Blu-ray. But it's not, to me, an official produced James Bond movie, even though they couldn't use the original opening with the barrel and him running walking to the screen and shooting and all that. So it's just kind of like I don't know. It is a James Bond movie, but it's not a purist James Bond movie. So that's why I just don't have it yet. GoldenEye. Probably this one or one other is probably my favorite Pierce Brosnan ones. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. GoldenEye's my favorite Pierce Brosnan one. Also, Kick-Ass or Kick Butt Nintendo 64 video game, of course, was based off this movie. Endless hours were spent on that video game and watching this movie. I just watched this one the other night, and it still holds up pretty good. Not a whole lot of CGI. It was still done, even though it was mid-90s. Got to see that one in the theaters too, and it was done with a lot of blue screen and just kind of the old-fashioned way, but high action from Martin Campbell's direction style. You name it. It's pretty cool. Tomorrow Never Dies. Not a bad outing for Pierce Brosnan. Not quite as good as GoldenEye, in my opinion. It kind of takes its cues from more of the Hong Kong action fare, which is kind of neat because you get a little different flavor in it. It's got a cool BMW that he drives in that one, remote control style. Great action. Decent outing. Not bad. World Is Not Enough. Actually like this one probably right underneath GoldenEye. It's basically probably just a step down. The only thing I hate in this movie, now she might be pretty to look at, but that chick right there, Denise Richards, you know, hats off to her. She tries her best in the movie, but the girl can't act worth a crap. She's just annoying in that movie. Annoying. Anyways, but anyway, Pierce Brosnan does his best in that one. I heard tell I think he either got injured in this one or Die Another Day. I can't remember which. I think it might have been Die Another Day, the first of the movie. Anyway, we'll get into that in a second. But this one's solid James Bond outing. Not bad stunts in that one either. Good special effects. Die Another Day, probably not my favorite. I wish they would have made another one to bookend Pierce Brosnan's reign as James Bond. Halle Berry does pretty good as the heroine in that one. Good stunts and everything, but the villain in that movie, I don't like the guy. He just didn't do a good, I don't know, just at the end he's all dressed up like he's in Nintendo gear or something, and I don't know, he's like some kind of robot wannabe Nintendo wizard or something. I don't know, I don't get it. Casino Royale, return to dark, hard edge. Going back to the beginning there, got the first book covered in this one. Not a bad movie. I really enjoyed Casino Royale. It's one of the few that my wife has watched with me too, and she really enjoyed it. Just like how they did it's definitely a 3-act movie. Got a love affair in there too. It's got a little bit of everything. Good Martin Campbell action fare too in it, as far as direction style. Pretty good. Quantum of Solace, the follow-up or the companion piece to Casino Royale. One of those deals where they've never done that before. Made a direct sequel to another James Bond film. It's okay, but it's definitely a step down from Casino Royale. Still got that hard edge Bond though. My wife and I watched this one, but she didn't quite like this one as well either. But solid entry from Daniel Craig. It'll be interesting what he does next with the role. There you have it, dudes. the James Bond sickness in 15 minutes for you there. Rock on, and I'll catch you next time.